Hello there folks, how you doing? I've got you pointing into the sun there. I hope you can see that glorious view. That's the island of Rum on that side, and then on this side we've got the island of Egg. So the pointy hills on the island of Rum are known as the Rum Coolin, and that big lump on the left at the end of Egg is known as the School of Egg. So Mo and I are up here on the Roo Peninsula doing a wee bit of van camping for a couple of days. It's just going to be a short trip, to be honest, just a 2 or 3 night trip, just a wee break from gardening in the rain at home. You can see I've got the fishing rod. I tried a cast or two. Mo's cooking up there, so I tried a cast or two but nothing doing yet. In fact, we dawdled on our way up the road and had a nice easy journey, stopped off for a bit of lunch, which meant that I was a wee bit late getting here for the fishing. I would normally fish on a point away down there, but it's a good 1.5 hours hike away, so I'm going to nip in and get some food, and then I'll see if I've got any energy left, and I might just try another cast or two. We're not going to do a lot of filming on this trip, folks. It's just going to be a wee short video, but I'll turn the camera on now and again to give you a wee glimpse of what Mo and I are up to on our short break to the west. So let me go and get something to eat, folks. I'll get back to you in a wee while. What are you doing there, Mo?
Dinner's ready.
Dinner's ready? Okay. Morning folks, how you doing? Well, we had a lovely night in the van. We woke up, watched the heron feeding, a wee vole I think it was, having its breakfast, and a couple of geese. We were surrounded by wildlife this morning when we were having our porridge, so nice. We're going hiking today. We're hiking the coast. I've got the fishing rod with me, but I'm not really planning on doing very much fishing, but if I find a pool here or there I might try a cast. I've fished this area many's a time and I've camped here over many years. You see the skerries out there? Well, if you've got a 6-metre tide, almost all of that disappears except the big one, which if you look on the map actually has a couple of contour lines on it. So there's a video filmed the year before last where I paddled out my sit on top and I camped. That's where I was camping out there. So it's a grand spot out there, although it can be quite breezy. And interestingly, at low tide it can be quite difficult getting out of the boat and onto the land. because they're steep-sided and covered in seaweed and pretty slippy. But at high tide, almost all of these little islands just disappear. So it's pretty shallow water, it's not ideal for the fishing. But it's a bonny spot for hiking, so Mo and I are going round the coast. You ready? Let's go. How you doing there, folks? What a glorious afternoon. So Mo and I are still out and about in the van doing our mini tour. We were on the Rue Peninsula and now we're in the region of Scotland known as Loch. So a few weeks ago, just after lockdown was eased, Mo and I came up to Ardgour, which is just across there. So this peninsula that runs out to Ardnamurchan has a number of big estates or areas. There's Ardgour, Morven, Loch, Sunart. That's Loch Linnhe that you see, not that wee bit of water there, but the big water might just be visible over my left shoulder here, and then Loch Sunart, another big sea loch, is just dead ahead there, but out of sight. There's several hills in between me and Loch Sunart, although I did come down past that way today. So Mo's in the van, you can see it maybe down there, having a shower and having a relaxed late afternoon, and I decided to stretch the legs a little bit. So I've done all the hills in this area and all of these big estates. Although there's no Munros here, I firmly believe that this is some of the best hill walking country in Scotland. So the hill that I'm going for, oddly enough for this area, is quite a grassy hill, quite low. I'm struggling to remember the name of it. It's one of the very few that I haven't climbed. And I'm actually not sure if I'm going to get to the top today, because where I came over the high point in the road, I saw a load of vehicles sitting there, indicating that there might be a bit of stalking on the go today. But I've been scanning this slope and there's nobody on it and there's no deer in sight. So I'm going to go up and I'm going to stop maybe a little bit short of the ridge, and then I'm going to traverse along, just contouring the glen until I get basically to the end of the ridge, and then I'll drop down, and then I may just walk back down the road. Actually, it's a quiet enough road. So I thought I'd just check in with you, say hello, give you a glimpse of Loch in the sunshine. What do you think, folks? Is this the top? It might be. It might be over there a wee bit. People sometimes ask me, Dave, why do you climb these random wee hills? Well, the simple answer is I like new ground. And I think it was a big advantage actually when I was younger, doing all the bigger hills in Scotland, doing the Munros and then onto the Corbetts and the Grahams, and going through all these lists. And now that I've got that behind me, it's all old ground, and whilst I enjoy going over the old ground now and again, I quite enjoy that feeling of anticipation when you set out on a hill that you've never climbed before. And this is one of these wee hills. It's just I won't be out for more than a couple of hours, I don't suppose, maybe 3 hours maximum, just doing a wee circuit round. Seek out the highest point, which might be marked by this stone, it might not be. Doesn't really matter. And then just enjoy exploring the hill, looking for a line up and a line across and a line down, and joining it together into a wee walk. And it's nice looking at views that I'm familiar with. So that there with the wee bit of water, the forestry, and then the wee bit of water. I'm hoping that the camera is picking it up because I've got you pointing into the sun there. Hoping also that this dialogue is going to be usable because it's a bit breezy up here. But that wee glen down there is called the Black Glen or Glen Dhu. And it gives a spectacular view in the evening light, heading away west towards Ardnamurchan, and you get some beautiful sunsets away at the far end of that glen. And it's flanked on either side by a couple of lovely wee hills. Both of them are marlins, in fact. They're relatively low hills. And they're just grand hills if you're doing your round of the Munros or the Corbetts or what have you, and you want to get out but the weather is not kind, then wee hills like that, they offer just enough of a challenge on a bad day to allow you to get out and experience the hill without putting yourself in danger or having a real tussle with the weather. So that's why I enjoy exploring these random wee hills. So this video has been very different to the usual kind of videos. It's a bit of a mishmash. I'm not sure how I'm going to edit this and how much footage I'll be able to stitch together into a wee video for you folks, but I'll try my best to do something just to show you a little bit of what we get up to on our trips when we're living in the van, a sort of van life type video, but no particular destination in mind and no particular activity or adventure in mind, just making it up as we go along. So we had a little bit of an idea of the area that we wanted to visit. We weren't very sure of the route or the timings, but it's unfolded very nicely. I've got a couple of deer just running. They're probably out of shot. I've got another one over here, and just in case there is any stalking today, that tells me that I'm going to keep away from the other side of the hill and head back down the way, the flank that I came. I'm not going to go back the way I came. I'm going to wind down in a big arc, but I'm going to keep away from the deer in case the stalkers are out and about. If they are out, they're going to be on the other side of the hill, and they'll probably thank me for just chasing the deer back to them. I have to apologise to the deer though. It could be a sad ending for one of them. Right, enough blethering folks. Get round and down this way and back into the glen, and then I'll decide whether I'm going to extend my walk and go around that loch that we're parked beside. Mo will see me on the far side of it and think I've got lost. She's not going to think that at all actually, she's just going to shake her head. Right. Deer have gone, let's march on. Morning folks, how you doing? What a lovely calm morning. So we're packing up, we're getting ready to go. It's quite early. We're up and about sharp this morning, we're heading down the road this morning. So I just want to thank you for tuning in. It's been an odd little video, just wee bits and pieces of van life as Mo and I have been travelling around. If you're interested in the journey folks, we started off, hello there, we started off up at Arisaig and we went out onto the end of the Rue Peninsula and enjoyed a couple of days camping up there, and then after that we drove along to Loch Linnhe, and then we came down through the hills heading to a caracal at the bottom of Loch Shiel there, and from there we had a glorious woodland walk yesterday. I didn't take the camera with me, so apologies for that, but we went up and over and then we dropped down towards Loch Linnhe, and once we reached Loch Linnhe we went along to the village of Strontian, made famous because of the element that was mined there. So the village is called Strontian and the element is strontium. Then we went along to the end of Loch Linnhe, round and then up through the hills here. So Kingair Loch is just over my shoulder there. That wee loch there is Loch Uisce. And Uisce just means water actually in the Gaelic, and you probably know Uisce Ba is whiskey. So, and if you listen carefully, Uisce and whiskey they're phonetically quite close. So it's the origins of the word whiskey. It's a grand place to camp in this beautiful glen. We literally got it all to ourselves. There is a house away at the top of the glen, but it's not occupied anymore. So we had a very peaceful night. But it's time to get the driver's seat spun round into the right direction. We'll head down to Kingair Loch, down to Loch Linnhe, then we're going to drive up the side of Loch Linnhe to Corrin, which featured in one of the more recent videos where Mo and I went out for a day in the hills. We were in a hill just over there actually, not far away. And we'll hop on the ferry and we'll get across, then round to Onich and Ballachulish, Glencoe and Loch Tulla, Bridge of Orchy, down to Tundrum and away onwards to Callander and homeward bound today. I've been working on a wee project at home, a wee bike build project actually, taking an old bike and trying to do it up a little bit. That's going to feature in a video coming soon, so that's something to look out for. But for now folks, I'm going to wind this wee video up. I'm going to say thank you as always for tuning in and for joining us on our wee road trip, and I'll get back to you soon. Bye for now folks. Well, that was another good wee trip, Mo. Did you enjoy that? I'm doing my usual. I wound the video up outside. We're still talking to the camera.
Typical.
Say bye-bye to the folks.
Bye. Can you pass?
Yeah.
Alright, careful. Be very, very careful.